Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, a preview of the game matchups, and weekly insights for the team. Now, if you're wondering why I'm dressed like a bum-ass Beanie Siegel right now, it's because my laundromat in my apartment is acting all types of weird, and I don't feel like dealing with that tonight on a Friday. So, with that being said, I'm kind of cool with it. I got my hoodie on, got my Punisher beanie on, so we actually lit right now, very much so. But anyway, man, let me just cut all that foolishness out the way. Let's just get right down to the episode. It seems like just yesterday we was talking about, the expectations that was had for the Texans. And now it seems like against those expectations, everything's going great. So we're in December. It's 4 games left in the season. We just need to see how great things are going to be. And with that said, what the Texans need to do to make sure that that happens is have a Final Four mentality. So everybody's familiar with, the college basketball tournament in March and spring, NCAA Final Four or whatever. And so all those games, they're just single elimination games, not no best 2 out of 3, not no best 4 out of 7, if you will. You lose, you're out. Texas need to come with that approach in these Final Four games right here. They need to really have that mentality that if they lose one game, they're done for the playoffs. And, that's pretty much how it is. This time of year, it's December. A lot of teams are, they're still out there, trying to hold on to their playoff spots or get into the playoffs. There's very few teams that are out there that have already clinched the division or even clinched the playoff spot. And the ones that have even clinched their divisions, they're still trying to fight for their own positioning as well. They're still trying to fight for those, one of those first round buys that they can get in the playoffs, just to kind of rest their players up. Because, hell, it is a long season. You know what I'm saying? So that'll definitely rejuvenate them and get them back on track. But that being said, even if they don't get a first round bye, the Texans maintaining this lead in the division is definitely going to help them with their playoff success if they can nab a home game in the first round, get that home crowd behind them, and all that good stuff. But none of that can happen if they do not have that Final Four mentality. So what the Texans need to do with that is just be mentally prepared for these playoffs, or they just missed them. Like I said, each one of these games, very important. This Sunday, very important game, obviously, against the Indianapolis Colts, division rival. The following week, we'll be taking on the New York Jets. And I will say this, 2 out of the last 4 games of the season, one against the Jets after this Colts game, and our season finale is going to be against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are pretty much done for the year. But to me, those 2 are trap games. And I've mentioned trap games on here before. Everybody knows what a trap game is. It's one of those games where the team that's pretty big or that's probably favored to win the game, that's when they feel like they're going to take the game over, or whatever, and it doesn't necessarily go that way. This has the Jets game. I could consider that a trap game. They're probably playing for their coach's job or whatever. And not only that, a lot of those players are probably, just playing for just different reasons, whether, to be on the team next year or, to audition for another team. So definitely be on the lookout for that Jets game. But the week after the Jets game and right before the Jaguars game is going to be the Eagles. So the Philadelphia Eagles are definitely right now, they're definitely in a division race with the Dallas Cowboys or whatever. And, they're going to be playing their hardest to make sure that they win that game. Not only that, if they don't, even if they fall a little bit out of the division race, they're still going to be playing their hardest to get a playoff spot. And so, yeah, they're definitely going to be giving us, they're going to be definitely giving us their all on that particular game. And it's on the road. So, these last 4 games are not going to be a cakewalk. The Texans, I would not say they have skated on this 9 game winning streak. They really, just fought some teams. They've had some lucky breaks on some games, but for the most part, they've been fighting. They've been fighting tooth and nail to maintain this 9 game winning streak, and kudos to them definitely for that. Tough thing to do. So yeah, they'll have to mentally prepare for these playoffs. Next thing for their Final Four mentality, they have to really take it like every game could be their last. Right now, the Colts are probably what 2 games, 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, behind the Texans. And so, you do the math. 3 games behind, 4 games left. So yeah, they can definitely if the Texans lose and the Colts just happen to like kind of go on a little run at the end of the year, it could definitely be a problem for the Texans. They could either they could definitely blow the division, but also they could definitely have it if they lose out. They'll definitely be blowing their playoff chances. So this if yeah, that could be the start of their last game. That could be their last game that they play, or that'll just have them in the playoffs. Same thing with a lot of these. Same thing with these other 3 teams. If they lose to the Jets, that could, kind of keep alive the Titans, keep alive the Colts. If they lose to the Eagles, same thing. So they just have to really approach it like, this one loss, whether it's against the Colts, Jets, Eagles, Jaguars, it could really, put me out of the playoffs. And as far as like, even if they make it to the end of the season and they play the Jaguars, that loss could probably, knock them out of a first round bye. I know the Patriots play the Steelers this weekend or so, or one of these coming weekends very soon. And so, they might, take a loss and, fall down to the 3 spot while the Texans move up to the 2 spot. So, I mean, definitely, if that was to happen, that would definitely obviously that would be beneficial to resting our players and definitely getting our players healed and fully healthy for the playoffs, as opposed to having them come in there on a limited practice because of some nagging injury, whether it's nagging toe injury or pinky injury or something like that. So definitely any chance, any advantage we can get to like keep the players healed and all that stuff, it's definitely going to be worth it. So, but basically, yeah, these last 4 games, Texas just need these final 4 games. Texas just need to have a final 4 mentality for them, and just take that right into the playoffs. So, with that being said, the playoffs start this weekend. Yes, sir. The Texans will be playing the Indianapolis Colts, a rematch from week 4 of the season. Texans won 37-34. Really good game if you're a non-Texans fan. Really stressful game if you are a Texans fan. One of the biggest things, well, the key for us winning that game was the fact that Colts head coach Frank Reich. Sorry, I was listening to Biggie earlier, so Frank Reich slipped out, my bad. But yeah, Frank Reich, he went for it on 4th, tried to go for it on 4th down and failed. So that turned the ball over, gave Texas the chance to kick the game-winning field goal. So with that being said, another note that happened within that game, or another event that happened in that game that was pretty notable. Wide receiver T.Y. Hilton went out for the Colts, and so he was hurt early in the game. But that still didn't stop Andrew Luck from finding weapons. So that's going to be the number 1 priority of this Houston Texans team. They're going to have to find ways to slow down Andrew Luck and their offense. So when Hilton went out, Luck was still just slinging the ball to like different wide receivers that nobody ever really just heard of like that. And so, it was a pretty crazy thing to see. I think I want to say he's finished 300, 400 plus yards. I have to go double check. I'll just put it in the blog later. But yeah, he was still, just out there just balling like it was nobody's concern. Like we just should have been covering, and we should have been covering those receivers. I don't know why the coverage was like that, um, but yeah, so he was just finding people to get the ball to, and it worked. It kept him in the game. Um, Definitely helped tie the game up or whatever. So another weapon that Luck actually has on his offense, surprise weapon in the last couple of weeks, is Eric Ebron. Used to be with the Detroit Lions, came to the Colts in the offseason. He already, for this season, he already has 11 touchdowns, which is crazy. I don't even know if he had 11 touchdowns for the entire time that he was in Detroit, which was about 3 or 4 years. And so, just 1 year with the Colts, he already has 11 touchdowns. So um, it's definitely going to be a challenge, and it's definitely going to be a challenge in trying to just kind of stop him because he's the type of tight end that he can kind of move around all over the field as well. Um, I don't know why teams. He's like sneaky. I guess he's like sneaky good, or if you will. Like a lot of teams, they probably think back on the scouting report of what he did or didn't do in Detroit, and so they'll kind of like let him off in the coverage, or they won't cover him as much. And and if you do that, he'll mess around and catch a good 20-yard pass or so, or 15-yard pass or so, and just break your defense open. So I think it's definitely going to be it's going to be one of the top priorities to watch Eric Ebron, and just make sure he doesn't bust anything open. And as far as like making a big play, um, another thing that the Texans got to do to kind of slow that Indianapolis Colts offense down is just kind of derail the Colts on third down. I think they were like top two as far as like third down percentage or third down conversions. So, or third down conversion percentage. So, that's definitely going to be a key if they can just stop them. Now, that can be, whether it's just, putting them in third and long situations, which will definitely help, but also just kind of playing a smart defense. They got a quarterback in Andrew Luck who's pretty much he can do it all. They really don't have a running game like that. So more than likely, if it's getting to a crucial moment of the game where they need to get that first down, they're probably going to, put that on Luck. And so definitely just play smart defense. Just kind of watch out for the different plays that they might run. For what we need to do on offense, our main thing is just distribute the ball. So as I mentioned earlier, or actually I didn't mention earlier, as I'm as I thought I mentioned earlier, Kiki Kuti, which I still probably didn't get that name right. He should be healthy and available for this game, so he should be a little bit better from the hamstring injury that was holding him back. So I would expect him to be in a little bit more like short, quick routes. He'll probably definitely be on a jet sweep. Hopefully, he'll be on a jet sweep, and just kind of get their defense to wear down a little bit. Because I mean, their defense has improved some this season, but it has improved a lot to where people are just scared of the Colts defense. So definitely, I think QT's being healthy is going to be a very important factor in this game. Another thing about the receiving corps, Demarius Thomas is getting worked in the offense a little bit more as the season goes on. So he's getting his touches, just in time for the playoffs. So definitely, you can find ways to get him the ball. It probably doesn't have to be a deep threat. It could probably be a little, possession pass or so where he gets like 10 yards and, something to get the first down. Now, definitely he could probably be a good red zone target because of his size. And so there, I would say try to look for him in the red zone, definitely. Um, Obviously, get the ball to Hopkins. He's been playing great this season. So make sure he gets his touches. But definitely for QT and and Thomas, definitely try to get them the ball as well. As far as the other Thomas, the tight end, and Aiken, the other tight end, definitely feed those guys also. I love what they're doing so far this year. Um, they're making plays as well when they can, or whenever we decide to throw the ball to the tight ends. So yeah, I'm definitely loving those guys, what they're doing for us this year. Definitely get the ball to the tight ends a little bit more. And with the with distributing the ball, it's pretty much going to keep Luck off the field, and that's what we really want to do. Just keep Andrew Luck in that offense off the field, because like I said, they don't have a running game, but what he does on that offense kind of makes up for them not having a running game. So I would definitely say just instead of, I would say definitely try to shut down the pass, but you're better off just keeping him off the field altogether. Because he's heating up like this time of year anyway. He definitely, yeah. Last Sunday's game, I think it was when the Jaguars played him and they held him to no points, or it was like a 6 in the game or something like that. So, um, their offense definitely struggled in that game, obviously, but I would say in this game, it's a rival. He's gonna play heightened. It's gonna be a heightened sense of urgency coming from him. So definitely, just try to just keep him off the field as much as you can. So pretty much those are just my two things, man. For the Texans to get this W, all they need to do is just just slow down that offense, slow down that Indianapolis Colts offense, and also just distribute the ball. The Texans just need to distribute the ball to our receivers on offense, and they do those two things, they'll definitely get the W. So, with that being said, I'm Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.